got a real friend, you don't need much. Just a place to sit and fish is more than enough. When you got a real pal, there's nothing too tough. Together it is better when you got your real bud. Real bud.
John, I made a spill.
Oh, no. What happened?
I sat down and I spilled my water.
On what?
The table.
Oh, the table or the phone? Okay.
The phone wasn't put down yet, but we got close to the laptop, so
Ooh.
DEFCON
DEFCON
3,
4.
whatever it is.
Yikes.
Welcome to episode 25
Of?
Real Buds Podcast.
Yes.
Brought to you by
CBB Wood Designs.
Oh, yeah.
And Taylor Atkinson Photography.
I just thought you were going to say something random. By Band-Aids. Well, how has your week been?
Some random thing. Well, bring me up to date. Fill me in. Tell me all about your vacation. We haven't heard anything about that.
Well, yeah, there's not been much going on with my regular life last week since we recorded last, so we'll have to go back to the previous week.
Well, that's what's on. That's what's right down here. I don't know.
So pull up a chair, get a pillow. I'm going to tell a story.
All right, please do. Once upon a time, far, far
So
away.
the day was March 8th.
Oh,
And
God, Lord, folks.
Anyway, from the beginning.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. There we go.
Tim Tyson's going to put this on 4 times speed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Thanks, Tim.
Got to the airport early. In case you're going to the Kansas City airport, we used, not parking spot, Park and Go. It was very fast. It was cheap.
Yeah?
Would highly recommend that over Park Air Express or Parking Spot. It was half the cost. And yeah, I'm the type of person who gets there way too early. And of course, on the way to the airport, our flight was delayed like 2 hours.
Oh, Lord.
So we got a chance to check out the newish airport. So
Yeah.
we went around. And
How'd you like it? What'd you think?
I enjoyed the $15 beers. And
Was it that much?
It was 12 or 16. It was a lot. So we hung out and just kept getting delayed even more. And finally we left at I want to say it took off around 1. Anyway, we landed around 3 a.m., I believe. And then...
Where did you fly to?
Oh, Las Vegas.
Okay.
And Shane picked us up and it got to bed around, I think it was 3 a.m. there. So 5 a.m. Central Time.
Oh.
And of course, Quinn wanted to see us, so we got like 3 hours of sleep and then
Of course.
got up. So
Here comes a little monkey running into your room.
but yeah,
Hey.
spent a couple days there hanging out, and then had Parker's first birthday party. It was cowgirl themed.
Was it?
And then went to Disney the next day, or a couple days later. Spent 2 days there, and then drove back and spent a couple more days in Vegas. And yeah.
Where did you drive to?
So we drove to Anaheim to go to Disneyland.
Oh.
And that was an adventure.
Yikes. I bet that was an adventure.
It was spring break.
Yeah.
And
Was it just jammed with people?
it was, yeah. I think last time we were there was right before Christmas, and it wasn't as bad, but this was chaotic. I rode probably 3 rides, and each one had like an hour-long wait.
Oh,
so.
man. That's crazy.
Bummer.
Now, I haven't been there in probably 30 years, or maybe even longer. What does it cost to get in, to get a ticket these days to
We bought ours
Disneyland?
so long ago. I think you can do like because one side's Disneyland, one side's California Adventure, and you can do like a park hopper pass. And then Shane got a military discount, so I think it was like, gosh, I want to say it was like $275 or $300 for 2 people for 2 days.
So,
Like $75 a
yeah.
person a day, I think.
God, that's crazy money.
It was a lot. I mean, for not riding anything, it was still fun to walk around and watch them have fun. But for riding a ride a day, it wasn't the most.
Well, then you have to add on the got to stop for lunch, and
The food wasn't nearly as bad, like about a price as I thought it would be.
Really?
It was pretty. I mean, it was inflated, but you could also bring in your own stuff too. I didn't realize. So
I didn't realize that either.
no alcohol.
I'm out.
Yeah. So that was fun. Quinn had been 2 or 3 other times before, but she still enjoyed it. She likes all the spinny rides. So like
Does she?
the Dumbo ride and the
Uh-huh.
spinning teacup ride and all the things that I can't even watch. So I was on a lot of stroller duty, pushing Parker around the park,
Okay.
and did do one roller coaster with Quinn. It's a tiny little one. And it was like an hour wait, and the ride probably lasted 15 seconds.
Oh, I know. They don't last very long at all. They got this thing down to time to the last second almost.
Went out to dinner the first night there, and I ordered something with chicken in it, and went to taste it, and it was very soft. And I said, "Hey, Dad, will you? Does this taste weird to you?" And he tried it, and he said, "Yeah, it tastes kind of soft." And then we realized it was tofu. So I tried tofu for the first time.
Tofu, really?
Not going to try that again.
Never thought you would have even come within a mile of tofu in your lifetime.
Why is that?
Why did you even think about?
I didn't order it. I ordered chicken, but they put tofu in it. It was like half tofu, half chicken.
Oh, I would have punched him in the face.
Yeah.
Just deck the guy. He comes back.
The place was called something dog.
Tofu Dog's Heaven or something. Yeah.
It was just all dog themed. So I told Quinn that she had to bark to get her order placed. She didn't believe me. So we got to eat your bowl of kibble before you get your real meal.
Funny.
But yeah, it was fun. We stayed at an Airbnb, and you could see the fireworks every night from the balcony. So that was fun.
That's nice.
We were in bed shortly. I think they played the fireworks at They did the fireworks at probably 9, and we were in bed shortly after each night.
Now, it was the Airbnb was at a house, apparently?
It was like a condo. It was like attached to other, I don't know, like the first floor was the garage, and then it was like a 3-story building.
Oh, okay.
It was all right. A lot of homelessness around there.
Really?
What else? I don't know. It was fun. We looked up random facts about the park, and they remembered something about they have a thing called a smellitzer, where they push smell.
What?
A smellitzer. It's Janelle's nickname for me. Like the howitzer, the guy around when that was invented, Disney said they wanted to invent the smellitzer, so they would push. Like if you're walking down Main Street, they would push out the smell of vanilla to make you want to go to the bakery, or like they make it all smell nostalgic, and they appeal to all of your senses.
Really?
Something about the trees closer to the castle got smaller, so it looked bigger, and they do all these different illusions and little Easter eggs throughout the park, to like things you can look for. And I didn't get too into it, but yeah, it was fun.
I call that fraud.
Fraud?
Fraud. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Disney's not getting John's money.
No, there's not getting not getting my money anymore. Not today.
But yeah, I was afraid Janelle was going to come back from Disney, being a Disney adult, and putting like, I don't know, Looney Tunes stickers on our car, and like getting
all over the front door.
Some matching Mickey Mouse tattoos. I'm with Goofy.
Yeah.
One of those.
So she didn't do that, huh?
She has not yet. She might have some Amazon orders coming in for some stuff, but
all right, maybe these are special order from Disneyland.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Quinn did a little makeover. She was Jasmine from Aladdin.
Oh, really?
Shane,
that's kind of big.
She had her hair and makeup appointment, and Shane told us, do not buy her a dress. She has too many of those. She doesn't need it. And he's like, she's going to be too hot all day. She's going to be complaining about wanting to take it off. And my dad, Shane, Janelle, and I walked to the park after my mom and Melissa, and Quinn had already gone for her appointment and showed up, and she was in her full Jasmine outfit. And I thought we said not to do that.
Yeah.
But you can't say no to that girl. So.
No, you can't. They're just too cute, and they're just adorable at that age.
What else? Not a whole lot else.
So all in all, it was a good trip.
It's Fun trip. On the way back, um, yeah, we had In-N-Out once on the way there. Have you had it before?
They don't have one of those here, do they?
No, and I think that's why people are all hyped about it because it's the exclusivity of it that you can only get it in like California and I think Colorado now. But yeah, it's mostly West Coast, and yeah, I've tried it a few times. And I don't want to like it because everyone else brags about it, or just goes on and on. And tried it again, didn't love it.
And what
liked
is it?
It's just a burger joint.
Oh, just a burger place? Okay.
It was good, but not like top 4 material in my book. So then, for whatever reason, on the way back, we stopped in some town. I forget the name of it in Nevada, and I think it was Barstow. And stopped for dinner. Saw an In-N-Out. Decided to go because when in Rome. And I was driving Shane's Tacoma, Toyota Tacoma, and I was thinking of Tacoma. And my parents drove separate, and then all of a sudden Shane drove the girls in their other car. And it was a big truck, and I was driving fine the whole time. Oh, there's tons of traffic too, so that was fun. It was like an extra 2 hours of traffic around LA. So yeah, stopped for dinner, and then on the way out, we just like ate in the parking lot because I didn't want to eat and drive. And I didn't want to go in there because it was busy. And then Janelle said, "Hey, can you pull back in there and drop this off in the trash, or pull up so I can throw it in the trash?" So I thought I could get close enough, and I pulled up, and the trash was in like the corner of this parking lot. I pulled up in the sharp turn and tried to get close for her, and didn't realize there was like an ashtray sticking out of the trash can. And Janelle said, "Hey, FYI, when you pull out, you might want to back up because you're kind of close." And I thought I could figure it out and just pull straight ahead, and it would avoid it. And it didn't.
No.
So I had like a 4-inch scratch on his truck.
Oh.
So for the next probably 2 hours, we were just quiet in the car.
Oh, no.
I asked Janelle, I said, "Hey, can you Google like what it costs to fix a scratch in the door?" And it was like $800 to $1,500.
Oh, yeah. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous amount of money.
We called Alyssa right away and just to tell her what happened so we could not feel as bad springing it on him when we got back into town. And of course, right when I called, Parker was screaming her head off, and it wasn't ideal timing. So thankfully, like 45 minutes from their house, we pulled over to get gas and realized that Alyssa had once hit something at the airport with that door and caused a big dent and a 5 times as long scratch. And yeah, so I still didn't feel as bad, but Shane's the last person in the world to like
Oh, I know.
to care and also whatever, but I wanted to like make it right. So kept asking what I could do to pay him, and he said, "You need to go out there in your swimsuit and wash the cars before you leave." And I didn't do that, but yeah.
So the only thing he asked you to do after you wrecked his truck
Well, he
was
said
to wash it, and you
go out there in
said,
a
no.
2-piece bikini and clean the cars, and
Well,
that was his way of joking because I left my 2-piece at home, and he knew that. So anyway,
I can't wait to talk to him the next time.
Our last day there, we had lunch with some visitors in town. Becky and Steve were there. So people may know our loyal listener, Steve.
Yes, good old loyal listener, Steve.
So the next segment will be devoted to Steve and Becky. We went there and went to a pizza place. They were in town for Carrie Underwood. So had lunch with them, and then
How are they? They doing good?
They're good.
Okay.
They went out last year, 2 years ago, to go see Lionel Richie, and they flew out, had their hotel and all that ready, and the night before, I believe, found out that he was canceling a show because of his back. And Steve's still bitter because a week later he's on American Idol dancing around, and
Oh, no.
he was fine.
All delayed stuff.
But we might have a new segment that I told Steve we could introduce.
Okay. What is it? Anything for Steve?
It's a fact check with Steve.
The fact. Okay.
Because we get most weeks Steve will send us his feedback, and this week he gave feedback and just had some not corrections, but he'll add some color commentary to things.
Okay. What did he have to say this week?
He had some license plate ideas.
Oh, he does. What kind?
I just mentioned some Iowa State plates, and he gave me a couple ideas. And then he said additional info for John's bike comment regarding rich kid bikes in the 60s.
Yeah.
He said Schwinn Stingray,
Oh, yeah.
Schwinn bike with 3 speeds and rear hub. Steve's a big bike guy, so
Oh, he is?
yeah. And then he said the fine for the NBA for not wearing white shoes back in the Jordan day was $5,000.
That much?
So I think we threw around I think I said 10K or something.
Yeah.
And then Steve said, my parents didn't have a color TV or air conditioning until after I moved out and joined the Air Force. I must have been an expensive kid. So,
Or they just didn't want to let Steve know that they had some money to spend.
yes. So yeah, that was that part. Next part, got a package in the mail a couple weeks ago, and it was the Norwegian prayer behind you from Becky and Steve.
I saw that.
So now,
Thank you, Becky and Steve.
now we should recite it before every episode.
Well, you can do that.
Otis being needy again.
I guess I'm not done, huh? Okay.
I'll tell you when you're done.
I know.
Keep petting.
Yeah. Just keep petting. Keep scratching my ear.
And what else? Then before we left town, Iowa State was playing the Big 12 tournament, the first game. So we went to one of the sports book places and watched that. And
I've never been in one of those sports book places. Are they pretty cool?
It's fine. I mean, yeah, it's it was a cool big wall of TVs and stuff. So it was like every guy's man cave dream. So Iowa State won that game. And what else? Oh, before we left, I was going out the door and Shane. Cool. Thanks, Otis.
Let me get it. I'll get it. At some point, I guess we're going to have to nail these to the floor.
There you go. Riding the trike on the carpet. Otis is in the doghouse. He knocked over the lights just now. He's riding the trike on the carpet, and when you walk down here, he tried to make a shortcut around you and about knocked you to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
You're in trouble.
He's being a bully today.
Great. Perfect. This is great. Thank you. So anyway, watched the game there. On the way out, Shane went to get a coffee, so I had a couple minutes. So I went and got $20 out of the ATM to put one last little slot machine bet, and it cost $10 for the ATM fee. So that was my gripe.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then,
That's an awful lot.
it's just
That's
it's
a lot of money.
nitpicky, but yeah, went and put $20 in one of the machines and did a couple spins. I have no idea what's going on those machines. Can you stop? I never know what's happening on those slot machines or whatever they are.
The
they
ones. Okay.
It's
I know
just
what you're talking about.
yeah, because I don't know what 3 things you're trying to align. I mean, the same icon is good, but yeah, I never know when it's going to be a winner or not. So I kind of just wait and hope for the screen lights up. I'm telling your mom. So anyway, on like the second roll, won like $70. And,
Well, great. Fantastic.
Yeah. So won 70 something bucks and then cashed out and then went to leave. And I thought, I could just do one more. And then I realized I was falling into the trap. And yeah, so I can see how gambling can be dangerous.
It's the trap.
But I left and didn't bet anymore and took it home. And I walked around that casino like I just won 20 grand.
Don't blame you.
Had that ticket up.
That's a big win, buddy.
Big winner over here.
Yeah. Big winner.
Hey, go. Uh-oh, mom's coming.
Uh-oh. He just ignores you. I love it. I just love it.
He kind of ignores everybody.
Yeah.
He's being naughty. This is a very jumbled episode already.
It is already, but that's fine. That's what people have grown to expect.
So yeah, flew back home and then went straight to the airport. Before that, flight was delayed again. Didn't leave Vegas until 1 a.m. I guess it was around 11 because we landed around 3 or something. It was 3 a.m. when we landed in Kansas City.
Oh, man.
And then that's the part that stinks about the Kansas City airport is when you land, you think, oh, I'm home. And then you are like, oh, I'm going to have to wait 30 minutes to get to my car.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take 40 minutes to get home.
Right.
So looked at the clock. We didn't get in bed until 5 a.m.
Oh, Lord.
Thankfully, I took Friday off work and had a day to recover, but it was a lot. It was one of those vacations where you need a vacation after you
Sure.
go on the vacation. First world problems, I guess, but
Well, it was good to see Mom and Dad. Good to see your sister, brother-in-law, and most importantly, the nieces.
Yes,
That's the best part.
it was good. So we'll see them again in a couple of months, I guess in July. But they grow so much, and
Now, are you going? They're coming to.
they're coming to Omaha for 4th of July.
Okay.
So we'll go up there, but yeah. About a week after we got back, Alyssa said, "Hey, where did you get Quinn her Simba stuffed animal?
Mm-hmm.
Because I think 2 years ago for her birthday, I got her that, and I guess their dog Knight tore it up. So she was devastated and ordered a new one, and it was in the car waiting for her after she got back from school, and she was all excited. And I asked if it looked the same, and she said, yeah. She said, or she didn't say anything, but I guess she told Alyssa that she knew that all the characters at Disney were fake. So it was a big step for her. She said something about she could see into one of their mouths or something, one of the characters. So,
no.
But she said she was
reaching that age.
She said, I'm glad you guys didn't tell me. I'm glad I found out, but I won't tell Parker. So
okay.
She's keeping the secret.
Can Parker even talk nowadays?
No, she cannot.
She
can say mama, but
yeah.
So yeah, that was a fun trip. And then what's next? Oh, got back on Friday early morning, and then I got invited to go to our suite at T-Mobile to watch the Big 12 game.
Oh, you have a suite?
We have a suite. You have to put your pinky out when you say it.
Ooh. And you don't personally have a suite, but
my work invited me.
Oh, your company has a suite. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So we, Jill and I went to that, and
that's a whole different way of living, isn't it?
It was nice.
It's great.
At first, it was kind of hard to get to, and then, but yeah, Iowa State beat Baylor in the game, and then I went to get a drink or something, use a bathroom, and looked down, and it was just a sea of people down below us. But we were up in the private area, so we got our own bathroom and our own drinks, and it was nice.
Yeah, that is nice. Those are really, really special.
And then
every time you get an opportunity to do those.
Yeah, I've never been before. I've been at the company for almost 5 years and never got the chance. And then the next morning on Saturday, got another call and they offered me to go again. So
wonderful.
Got to watch the championship game there. Met some Iowa State fans that were clients of ours. So, yeah, it was a fun time. Then we went to Power and Light after Janelle and I did. We heard DJ Diesel was going to be there.
Oh, yeah. And
Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq.
Yeah. So we got there. It was probably 8 o'clock by this time. And we went to McFadden's. I think I got a beer, and the line was just crazy long. And kind of stood there in the crowd of people, which is one of my worst nightmares, is being shoulder to shoulder with strangers that packed in, knowing you can't get out. And
not your only nightmare, but
there's a few. But yeah, we were just gonna wait until DJ Diesel came out, and then we were gonna head out. And it was 8 o'clock, and they said, "Don't forget, DJ Diesel will be coming out at 9:30." And we looked at each other and just turned around and laughed.
Yeah, that's time. Yeah, it's time to go.
So it wasn't worth it, but yeah.
Well, it sounded like you had a fun time.
It was fun. And then last week we recorded, I don't know, Wednesday, and then Friday you and I went to a concert.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you like that?
Loved it.
Can you say his name? One of your favorite artists. What's his name?
Wait a minute, what is his name?
I think it's Christone Kingfish Ingram.
Yeah, good old Kingfish, man.
You saw him on it was like CBS.
I saw him on I don't know, one of these special report kind of things about what kind of he's a rhythm and blues guitarist and a rhythm and blues singer as well. And I was just enthralled with how good this, how talented this young guy was. Come to find out, how old was he? 26, 25 years old. And he is in the category of B.B. King and just that whole genre. Man, he was fabulous. Had a great time.
It was fun.
It was fun. I enjoyed going with you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
We went to a casino to watch.
Yeah, we did.
And I was very tempted to put $20 in because I still had some cash.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, Taylor, you need help.
He does. Because that's all you saw, these big signs that said, need help.
1-800-BETS-OFF.
Call this number.
I'm fine. It's not an addiction. It's just a couple bucks.
I had my cell phone out.
I know when to stop.
Ready to press that last number.
Yeah, I think I've gambled maybe 5 times ever. And yeah, I think every time I've gambled has been in Vegas, except for my great-grandma Marlene took me for his 18th birthday. I think he was 18. He had to be.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a casino in Council Bluffs, and she was always just the, I don't know, most fortunate person I knew.
Is that right?
I don't know if I believe in luck, but she had some fortune in her.
Uh-huh.
And she would go all the time for fun, and my mom or my aunt Becky would get calls that she just won a couple $1,000.
Oh, wow, that's great.
She just would go around, and she had her long fingernails, and she would always tap the things. And when she took me out, she gave me $20, and we kind of went to 2 different machines, and I came back within 5 minutes, and it was gone. And
oh, gone, yeah.
I came back to her, and she had just won like $200, and so I think my parents still have. Maybe I'll have to bring it sometime. But there's a mug of her. I think it was the Mayor Star. Like she was a big winners or something, big winners club, and it's just like a literal mug shot of her on this mug.
Oh, that's great.
And
yeah, we got to get it and put in the studio.
So yeah, I don't go out too much, but once you get that feeling of winning, though, it kind of does. You think you're onto something, but then it's so easy to lose it all.
It can get you.
And we're talking big bucks, $95.
$95. Yeah.
I'm
I'm not very lucky when it comes to gambling either. You're a lot more luckier than I am because I've never won $98 every time the last time the lovely Mrs. Ryan and I went to Las Vegas, I took $100 and walked down, and put it in the slot machine, immediately lost it. So, all of 10 minutes and I'm done. And every time we get together and go on family vacations with the grandkids now that they're older, they like to play cards and do all that stuff in the evening. And I just walk in and throw $20 in the middle of the table and walk away because that's it's generally what I lose anyway.
And to be fair, $98 today would have been like $9 to you back in the day.
9?
I don't know. I mean, it's probably worth a lot less than it used to. So
no, I wouldn't say that. Probably, it's $98. $98. That's
but I kind
to
of
me,
walked
it's a lot of money, huh?
I walked around the casino and like the airport, like they might know who I am. Like you might have seen me on the news. I just won 98.
Had the swagger going.
Tip the guy like a couple extra bucks.
Yeah, give him instead of $2 or instead of $1, you gave him $2, right?
Wait for everyone to grab my bags for me and. Where's the free drinks?
You're Mr. High Roller. I love it.
All over like 1/10 of my student loan payment.
Okay.
But yeah, the concert was good. I think I was probably I think 1,500 people there.
Uh-huh.
I think I was the 8th youngest person.
Yeah, you're right. There was a lot of older people, which is interesting to me because of the age of this young man. He's 25, and that. I don't understand that.
I don't know. I don't think the demographic for rhythm and blues is young. I don't know, despite their age.
Yeah, I wonder if that's changed. May have changed.
I don't know.
May have changed. Anyway, it's still fun.
It was
Had a great
fun.
time. And the music was fabulous. Anytime you get a chance to listen to any of his stuff, please do.
I discovered, I knew I had a fear, and my fear is of, I think I mentioned before numerous times, is of throwing up. But I found a video the other day of really bad turbulence on a flight, and someone said this really spoke to my emetophobia, and I
What
realized
is
that
it?
it's emetophobia, and it's the fear of
Emetophobia.
vomiting. And
Well, you got it.
I
There's
have
no
it,
question about it.
and
Do you have any medication for it?
I took some Dramamine on the way home because on the flight there I did not take any, and there was just a little bit of turbulence, and I about lost it. So did not enjoy that. I made a list of some of the worst types of people on airplanes.
Oh, yeah.
No.
There's a bunch of them.
I want to know if you have
There
any.
is a bunch of them.
Do you have any off the top of your head?
I don't have any off the top of my head. I just, just people, their personalities change when that door closes on that giant tube that's going through the air. They just, they get a few drinks in them and they kind of get a little bit agitated and edgy. And
I didn't have any drinks in me,
rude
but I was agitated from just everything else being late, and I don't know. But one type of person I do not like on an airplane is the person who takes their phone off airplane mode but keeps the ringer on.
Oh, no.
And for 8 minutes after the plane lands, they're just getting ding after ding of texts, and they don't turn it off. And I think I noticed it. I noticed it on this trip mostly because both of our flights landed at like 3 a.m. So hearing that at 3 a.m. after I was trying to take a nap and didn't sleep the entire flight, it was not fun.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Um,
And is there some sort of, there has to be some sort of cell phone etiquette out there in this world, isn't there? Is there or is there not?
I'm sure there is. I just think it's funny. It's been 2 or 3 episodes in a row where you talk about, is there some kind of etiquette to
Well,
this?
there should be.
I don't know. But then along with that is the person who keeps their phone brightness on all the way, or their laptop brightness.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it was a 2 a.m. flight, and this person's watching Prison Break or something on full brightness.
Max, yeah.
The person who keeps their reading light on during the flight, also when it's 2 a.m. and everyone's trying to sleep. Like, are you really?
That's just rude.
You trying to read your Charles Dickens at 2 a.m.?
Were they reading or doing anything like that, or were they just snoozing?
They were reading.
Oh,
but
okay. Well,
do you really need to read your book at this hour?
Oh, okay.
Everyone else's lights are off. And
so you're going to be the airplane cop and determine the airplane judge?
Yeah.
Determine, okay,
the
you
new
cannot read, no lights on.
Mm-hmm.
Go back there.
New rule, no reading after midnight.
Okay.
Even 10 o'clock. I feel like, I don't know.
Okay.
I guess if you aren't, I can't take naps on flights for whatever reason. But
I've never been able to do that either.
I think it's because if I don't have something to lean on, I like the aisle, but I also am afraid I'm going to roll over on something.
Fall out of the chair into the aisle.
Crash into the beverage cart.
We have cleanup in the main aisle.
On aisle 1.
Yeah.
And then the last one was the person who stands up right when the seatbelt sign comes off and then rushes to the front to try to beat everyone.
Oh, see, I don't do that. I do stand up right.
Oh, really?
Right, yeah, I'm kind of. It's just that I need to stand. It's kind of.
I understand it a little bit. Sometimes it just stinks when you're in the aisle seat and there's someone's butt in your face for like 15 minutes while everyone else gets off the flight and they're just standing there with their back to you.
Well, that's not very appealing.
No, so I don't like that.
Yeah.
Who
But would? No, Otis might. You know how dogs are.
Good smells.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my vacation flight peeve list. On a positive note, we'll end it.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a better feeling out there than when the pilot says the boarding is complete and you look over and you've got an empty seat next to you?
Oh, that's like winning $98.
It's almost as good as winning $98.
Yeah, I mean, that's big.
Because I've had it before where you think it's done and there's one more person who gets on and I try to look as big as possible to like look intimidating and just like, he probably smells. Open a bag of like beef jerky while he's walking down. Janelle and I just start getting into an argument. I knew you were going to do this. Just make it not.
Your mother told me that.
Just make him not want to sit by me. And there's been plenty of times where there's one person left and he sits next to me. So I never trust it until the very last minute. And since it's Southwest, there's no assigned seating. Anything goes. But yeah.
That is sort of like winning the lottery, actually. Because, man, you can pull that armrest up and, man, you got this giant seat. You know, you can put your legs up. You can do all kinds of stuff in that seat. You know?
So the flight there, Janelle had a seat in between us open, and then the flight back, I checked in at 8:30 on the dot. I had an alarm for like 8:29, 8:28. On the dot,
Of course you did.
I checked in, and I was C9. On the dot, I checked in and all the way back there. So they got me, and I paid the $50 to upgrade to A-list, whatever, and got us an exit row.
Really?
Which was bold because Janelle, I tried not to let her know, but we were on a 737 MAX 8 airplane, which is the kind that has had the doors blown off.
Oh, is that the? Oh, really?
And we were in an exit row, so you could say we kind of cheated death that night.
No, I don't think so. I don't know.
Nothing
you
happened.
may have.
Nothing happened, but we made it. But yeah, it's a good feeling when they say, yeah, or when you order a drink and they give you a full can for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, I had that happen.
You hit the jackpot on this trip, man.
I don't know what happened.
As for flying and extra seats and
hitting Shane's car on trash cans.
Yeah, just destroying Shane's beautiful truck that he's cherished all his life.
Getting tofu mixed into my chicken.
Getting tofu into your chicken.
There are worse things that could be mixed in.
I know. Life could be worse, Taylor.
What else you want to talk about? We have a lot of things we can cover.
Oh, we do.
I can go over a new one. We have a revelation in our tipping saga.
Ooh.
I saw a tweet the other day, or you call
Gasp.
I saw an X. An X. Janelle, don't worry, I didn't see an X. It's called X now instead of Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they call like a tweet is now an X-ray.
Okay.
Someone said, new rule, if I order standing up, I'm not tipping.
Really?
So
now that's interesting.
And I kind of like it. Any place you go where you are going up to a window or, there's no reason, I guess, to tip. There are still some scenarios where I would tip someone for like being extra nice.
Uh-huh.
But if you go somewhere where you're not sitting at a table, it just seems like you wouldn't tip there.
Yeah, and that is frustrating. You know, especially when you take and turn that little iPad thing around to you and it says, what would you like to tip?
So I guess like
you want to hit it with a hammer.
Kansas City Joe's, you walk up there, you wouldn't tip there because you are literally walking to them, placing your order, and which I get. But then there's places where they're bringing you drinks 5 times and an appetizer and bringing your food out and the check. I could see how that would require a tip.
I agree. I agree with you.
So anyway, interesting rule.
That is a great, it's a very good rule, in my opinion. I like that rule.
I guess
we may have to adopt that rule.
We'll see. I still get...
we'll do that tonight.
I already did not... Yeah. Well, we'll give a preview.
Okay.
Next episode, which we are recording later, is me eating hot wings while John asks me questions that he may have not prepared yet.
I haven't prepared. This is on the fly, folks.
So anyway,
it's going to be a good one.
Ordered the wings ahead, which they will be ready shortly, so we probably should wrap up soon. Did not do a tip for a pickup for Buffalo Wild Wings.
Okay.
Which, I don't know. I don't really know. I'm not sure what service they're providing other than just bringing the food out. So
we'll find out.
I'll probably get some hate comments now.
Speaking of comments, have we been getting any lately on the stats? Have you?
So on the stats,
I know we don't keep up too much with those.
Not much has changed on our Spotify stats.
Okay.
I have been looking more at like our YouTube stats because I've been posting those little short videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And
by the way, those are a lot of fun.
Oh, thanks.
I enjoy them because I know how much work you put into them. And so thank you.
You're welcome.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Keep them coming.
Thank you. So I realized the other day that there's an option to dislike videos. I always knew people could like videos, but didn't realize people could dislike them.
Yeah. How many, do we get any of those?
There are some dislikes.
Oh, no kidding.
And it just seems that it's on some of the videos that they did not go viral, but a lot of our videos get like a handful of likes on them. 3 likes, 10 likes, 12. Okay. But then a couple had like 280. And those are the ones that tend to have the dislikes on them, because then once more strangers start seeing them, then it opens it up. The weird one that I thought had dislikes on it was a video of me, the first video we shared on there, saying like, hey, we got a camera, we're doing video now.
Oh, okay.
And it had 2 likes and 2 dislikes. What kind of miserable person is out 50-50. There disliking strangers' videos about getting a camera? So,
well, that was not one of our best.
It wasn't one of our best, but it was just a short little clip to say, hey, this is what we have going on. Stay tuned. We're going to have videos.
Yep.
Apparently 2 people did not want us to have video.
Okay. Well, that's their problem, not ours. They don't have to look. They don't have to watch.
Yeah. Just skip it. But I can't recall a single video I've ever disliked. I might just skip past it or whatever and not like it, but whatever. They didn't get raised with manners like we did, John.
No, they didn't. You're absolutely correct.
So I felt fragile. I felt.
Oh, why? I wouldn't. That's not our demographic audience anyway.
Overall, I think.
What is our demographic audience? Do we even have one?
We're split. People.
We're split.
25 to 35, but then 65 to 80.
Yeah. Nothing in between.
Well, I think most of our audience is probably actually in between. Your daughter's friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall our like percentage is 95%, so it's good.
Well, that is good. But I feel very good about that.
A couple videos just.
That's all right. 95. That's pretty high score in my opinion.
But
of course, I don't know if there's any.
That's an A.
What it should be,
Yeah, I'd take an A any day.
I'll take it. You bet.
The video last week that started going, not viral, but for us, it was definitely bigger than we usually get on there as far as people sharing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it had 280 likes. It was the video of you, me saying the thing about the new Gen Z names or whatever, and what it'd be like if you were named those names now. And
oh yeah.
People were saying, this is, I got to find a couple comments because it was funny. Someone said, yeah, I just heard my first Kyle the other day, and you don't see any old Kyles usually. And, yeah, I guess you don't usually see any old Taylors. So that'll be weird when there's a bunch of those running around. Dang, gotta find it. I think the other one that went viral was, I forget the other one. Your Schwinn video, it did okay.
Oh yeah, on the bicycle, Schwinn bicycle.
See the comments. Someone said, "Hi, my name is ABCDE, pronounced Absidi."
Yep, we get them.
Someone else said, "I love this so much." Someone else said, I named a couple of my Sims Reality and Clarity because they sound so pretty as names.
What?
I don't know.
I don't get that at all.
Someone said, hi, my name is Brexit Lee, and this is my sister Madden 2K1. And then someone else said, yeah, Kyle Kinane, I think it's a comedian, has a bit about how you never meet an old man named Kyle. And then someone else said, we're coming up on being close to soon. I know Kyle's as old as 40 to 50. So anyway,
interesting stats. I'm pleased. I'm rather stunned, if you want to know the truth of the matter. So anyway,
so please be nice because we see comments and we're human.
Do. Yeah.
Taylor's fragile. John is
heartless, calloused, and look at these hands.
They've seen war. Speaking of war,
yeah. We're not going to war, are we? You and I, anytime soon.
I don't think I'll get drafted. You might. Um,
I can see a 73-year-old gray-haired, thin-haired guy doing boot camp all over again. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Near Tacovas.
Who knows? Yeah, my Tacovas. But that's Biden for you.
We have a new listener.
We do.
Which, speaking of what you just said, you kind of got political there for a second.
We did, just a little bit.
He is a guy I work with, Mark. Shout out Mark. He listened to the first episode and then he listened to the most recent episode because I said just hang with it. He was kind of giving a play-by-play as he was listening, saying, "I like how you said we won't get political," and then John said, "Well, we might," and then I said no, and then you proceeded to get political.
When?
So
Just now?
well, no, in the first episode.
Oh, okay.
You said we might talk politics, and I said no, we probably won't, and you said oh, okay. But then I think the second episode you mentioned what's his face dressing like a slob.
Oh, yeah, John Fetterman, the senator. Senator Fetterman. Excuse me, yeah.
Anyway, Mark said...
no, I was commenting on a story, a news story, that they had reversed the dress code in the Senate.
I get it.
So I was talking dress code. I wasn't talking politics.
All right.
You know, I don't care what Fetterman stands for or anything.
Anyway, he was just saying he enjoyed it. He gave some thoughts on things we should discuss because his dad's about your age, and he just thought of some things that he would enjoy talking about. So he wanted to get your thoughts on Vietnam and what the time was like in Vietnam with the hippies and protests and all that. And I told him about the guy who should have gotten drafted, but you got drafted instead because of your name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, John, the floor is yours.
Oh, the Vietnam War. That interestingly enough, that was back in the I forget exact. It started in the Eisenhower era. He's the first president to get us into Vietnam, and then it just kind of progressed from that point on.
Do you want to share like your thoughts on it, like what your experience was like with Vietnam?
Oh, it was a really interesting time. It was very it was a very tense time. It was because the whole country just seemed to be embroiled in discourse and kind of where we're at right now, actually. A lot of protesting, a lot of things going on like that. There was a huge hatred for us being in the war, and finally President Johnson pulled us out of Vietnam. But it was a really interesting time. It was like I said, it was very tense, and politics was everywhere. Riots were everywhere. There were so many things going on during that period. You had the Black Panthers. You had anti-defamation. I mean, they had anti-war. They had all these things going on. They all kind of culminated back in the late 60s.
So do you have any thoughts on you want to share?
What do you mean by thoughts?
I mean, I appreciate your insight, but you're mostly it's stuff that I think that I sort of knew. Do you have any experiences I don't know?
Yeah,
were you a protester? Did you have your hair all long and you cut it when you got drafted?
I was kind of the experiences I had were not really good experiences because a lot of the people that I knew that I went to school with, a lot of them got drafted and went to Vietnam, and a lot of them did not come home. And a lot of the ones that did come home, when they came home, they were just messed up. I mean, they were just, psyche was all out of kilter. And one of my very good friends, when he came home, he just couldn't stand it in the city anymore. So he became a park ranger out in Yellowstone, and that's all he does. He goes around, rides a horse or jeep or something through Yellowstone just to keep his sanity because he can't handle it anymore. A lot of these people that came back from Vietnam really couldn't handle it, and that's when the drugs became very prevalent for them, and and created all kinds of problems.
Well, now I'm the jerk for asking you to elaborate.
Okay.
Can you share the story about the guy who should have gotten drafted, though?
Which guys? Oh, that was yeah. I got my draft notice. Back then, we had what they call the draft, and the way they worked the draft back then was they had a lottery system, and so you were issued a number, and so my number was 17, and so and consequently, if you were in between 1 and 100, you're guaranteed to go to the Army. So I received a draft notice in the mail because there was another John Ryan that he was at the same school that I was at, and he was not doing very well in school. He had to maintain a C average in order to stay out of the draft at the time. And he did not maintain a C average, and consequently, they got this John Ryan and the other John Ryan mixed up and sent me his draft notice, and so I had to go. I called him and said, no, this is the wrong guy. And they said, sorry, you got to go. So I went down, and you have to go down and take a physical was the first thing you had to do. So you had to report for a physical. So I drove down there and parked my car in the street and went into this building and was just amazed by the sheer numbers of people that were there, number of guys who were there. But the oddest thing of all regarding that day was, well, there's a couple of things. But the first thing was, I'll never forget one of the officers or sergeants or one of them came out and said, is there anyone who cannot read in this room?
Were you tempted to say?
And I thought, well, what do you mean read? Everybody knows how to read. What are you talking about? And I happened to be in the front row. And I turned around and looked behind me, and I saw all of these hands that were raised. And that just blew my mind. That was something I never, ever, ever thought I would experience in my lifetime.
They probably could. They just wanted to not have to get drafted.
No, because what they do is they draft them in a different way. They draft them orally. So, you mark your X here, that kind of thing. So,
what if they said, like, all right, time for your physical, and you couldn't do a single push-up? All right, you can go home.
Well, they'd weed you out pretty quick. But, if you had any physical difficulties, yeah, you'd be gone.
Did people do that a lot back then? Because they probably didn't want to get drafted? Or were they was it a shame if you, didn't get drafted?
No, it wasn't shame, but it was kind of thing that, there were some people who really tried to get out of doing it. I was ambivalent one way or the other. I could care less. I certainly did not want to go to Vietnam because I just, like I said, I had too many friends that went over there and never came home. Or that when they did come home, they didn't come home in the right way. But
did you have friends who didn't come home before you got drafted? I mean, did bad things happen to your friends before, you got your notice that you were being drafted?
Yeah.
So you were probably kind of extra afraid?
A little programmed on that one. Yeah, a little
that's
programmed
too
on
bad.
it. So anyway, I finished the physical and passed it with flying colors, which I'm very depressed about. And I went out to get in my car, and my car's gone.
Got towed?
It got towed. It was in a no parking zone. I was so bummed. What a bad day. You pass your physical, you're going to get drafted into the service. And so at the time, I was working at an engineering firm downtown in Kansas City, part-time. And so I went to work, finally made it to work, and my dad helped me get my car out of the hock and all that kind of stuff. So I went down.
Out of the what?
Out of hock.
What's that?
That means your car is impounded. And
what's your impromptu boomer word of the week?
Impromptu boomer of the week, hock.
How do you spell that?
H-O-C-K, hock.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, I was at work, and I was rather depressed, and one of the engineers that worked there came in and looked at me, who I happen to know, and he said, what's mad? What's wrong with you? And I said, well, I just passed my physical, my draft notice and all that. And he goes, well, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I'd really like to stay in school and keep going to school and, if there's any opportunity to get into the reserves, I would like to do that. And so he said, well, the reserves are really, really hard to get into at the time. It's impossible. They had a waiting list to get into the reserves, pages and pages long. So he said, well, if you could get into the reserves, can you do it pretty quick? And I said, well, probably so. He said, wait here, don't go anywhere. So he came back about 10 minutes later and he said, expect a phone call from this guy. And so it wasn't 5 minutes later, and this guy, my phone rang, and there was a Captain Allen, I believe was his name. And he said, John, he says, it's Captain Allen. He said, I'm with the reserve unit here. And he said, I understand you want to get in the reserve. And I said, yeah. And I said, well, yeah, I do. And he said, well, this engineer, a friend of mine, recommended you very highly. And then he said, can you come over? And he said, I can swear you in. And he said, we can get you in the reserves, which is just like it's like a greased sled getting into this thing. I mean, it just went 1, 2, 3, and I was in. And then I had to go off to boot camp and all that kind of stuff. But so I'm glad I did.
So your coworker could have saved your life by getting you into the reserves?
He did. Just not even knowing that he was in the reserves, and I come to find out he was a captain in the reserves, which I didn't know.
Your coworker was?
Yeah, which I did not know.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad it turned out the way it did for you.
I am too, because it worked out really, really well for me.
We'll have to go back to that topic again. That was another impromptu. Grandpa, tell me a war story.
That's a good war story.
An actual war story. It's not intended to be all about the war. We can do some you told a story about James Taylor last week.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I guess 2 things to end because we're running out of time.
Okay.
First, you have your snagged. Your peeve of the week.
I do have my snag, my peeve of the week.
You're very enthusiastic.
I just, I went and got the lovely Mrs. Ryan and I dinner the other night. And, you know how you pick up your food and you go and, they have napkins and these little napkin dispenser things. Well, I went to pull out a napkin and it didn't do anything. So, you try and pull it and what happens? It tears. And if what you have to do is you have to reach your hand in there, fingers in there, and pull out at least 50 of the things, okay, in order for the thing to work. So my pet peeve is napkin dispensers and how they work them, how they load them up, and I think they intentionally decide to load them backwards so you can't pull the napkins out.
Well, it sounds like they will be losing money since you took 50 instead of 2.
Well, I know.
Bold strategy, Arby's.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say people who forget to give you napkins when you go through a drive-thru.
This is the one that you have to go up and pull them out of the.
Was this at Gates?
Container. Well, it was one of the local barbecue places.
Nice. I could have guessed. My snagged.
What is your snag of the week?
Peeve of the week.
Peeve of the week
is jury duty.
Dun, dun, dun.
I got a summons for jury duty that's a month long. It's district.
A month?
It's district court, so you're on call for a month. So end of April, I have to call every single Monday at 6 p.m. to see if I'm on jury duty that following week.
Looking forward to this?
Kind of, but also I think the federal cases seem less exciting than the local city cases. I don't know. I think it's more white collar crime.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, I got that, which is fine. I told my boss about it. Hey, this is coming up. I don't know the odds that I actually get picked, but yeah. And then last week I get a summons for city court, also in May. So I got double jury duty.
You got doubled down, didn't you?
So thankfully, I called.
Great stuff.
I called the one, and I was able to get out of the local jury duty. I don't know if it's considered county or city. I think it's county. And I've already done 1 week of jury duty before.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm 33 now, so I'm not old, but I've gotten summoned another time before that. They told me to go home. So I don't know if I'm the prime candidate for jury duty, but they love me. They can't get enough of me. So I feel like getting picked for a kickball team in high school, and we want Taylor. Well, we already got him for the whole month. You went on for a week. You're gonna have to wait till June.
You're gonna you're gonna get wrapped up in some fraud case of embezzlement or something like another Bernie Madoff kind of thing that'll last 6 months, and it's the most dull, boring. And all it is accounting and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it'll be 3 weeks long, and then I'll have the mafia after me once I make my verdict.
That's right. Once they place your verdict,
I'll be the 4th person on the jury. And did you guys ever watch Jury Duty, the show?
No, I've never watched it.
You didn't watch the show Jury Duty?
Never watched it.
Where the guy doesn't know that he's on.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I have. Okay. I did watch that. I did watch that.
I hope I get a case like that.
That'd be great. That'd be fun.
So anyway, I got out of the one, so I'm still on call for all of May. So I can't make too many big plans because I might have to be in court.
No fishing, huh?
I don't know. We'll have to find out the week of, but I think I'm free on the weekends, unless they put me in a room and I'm not allowed to be on my phone. Sequestered? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'll probably get sequestered for some jaywalking case.
Either that or they'll interview you and decide to put you in the room anyway.
I'll get charged with the crime somehow. You're not going back to work. You are going to jail for... Yeah.
Go visit room 128.
So anyway, that'll be fun. We'll have to keep you updated. Yeah, it's going to be tough for me because they don't want you to talk about the case while you're there.
I would not ask you about the case, but...
I wouldn't tell anybody about that. But I'm not good at keeping secrets.
Yeah, I know you are.
John, wait till you talk about this lady.
Hey, wait. You should have seen what this guy did.
I think she put a hitman out on her ex-husband, and John's live tweeting the whole thing.
The guy's guilty. Wait a minute, you just sat down.
Speaking of Twitter, last thing, we'll end with this.
Yeah.
Elon Musk had a tweet the other day, or an X.
An X.
He exited.
What do they call that? Do they call it tweets now? Still call them tweets or not? What's the correct term? We need to be politically, or I shouldn't say politically, but we need to be correct on our verbiage here.
Tweets are now posts.
A post.
So he's going back to just generic language. So anyway.
Okay, say it a post.
Elon Musk had a post on X, and he said, quote, "Nothing more precious than old friends." And I agree. I think that having a friend...
Does he even have any?
I think having a friend over the age of 70 is a wonderful thing.
Well, thank you. That's nice. I appreciate that.
I'm going to take it as that. Like, it's nice having someone who's old as a friend, an old friend, not like...
and I've told you this before. I think every young person needs an old person.
Yeah, like a big brother, big sister, like we talked about.
Kind of like that, or
a mentor.
Or a buddy,
And every old person needs a young person.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like
I'm having problems with my phone.
I'm busy that day.
Dad, guess who's going to be helping me out here? My IT department.
I'm booked. Did you ever see Up? The kid who...
No, I never saw that.
Okay. Well, and then Gran Torino.
Oh, yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my lawn.
You're the Clint Eastwood to my Toad. Tao.
Well,
he gets called Toad.
Get off my lawn, Toad.
We are both just learning from each other. So every young person needs an old person.
Yep.
Nothing more precious than old friends. I think he meant having people who've been in your life for a long time.
Right.
But I'm going to translate it as, you need an old friend. You need a real bud.
You need a real bud. Exactly right. Everybody needs a real bud.
And don't let anyone tell you that your reels are not good. Take their dislike elsewhere.
Be gone. Shoo.
Hopefully we're still recording on here.
Well... Kind of looks like we are.
We're sorry about all the difficulties.
Yep.
The lights falling. And, look forward to next week's episode where you torture me with hot wings.
Can't wait for the hot wings. This is going to be fun, folks. Lots of fun.
Stay tuned. Next week will be a video episode. It'll be kind of disturbing on audio, I'm guessing.
There will be bodily sounds coming from Taylor.
All right. Well, have a good rest of your week, John.
Thank you, Taylor. You do the same.
See you.
Thank you, everyone, for supporting us. And thank you, everyone, for listening to us. And be safe and be kind.
Oh, and thanks for that one person who donated $4.99 a month to us.
That's right. Our sponsor.
Getting their plug.
Yep.
All right. See ya.
See you, Taylor.